Here's the healed power principle. It's so easy to get caught up in everyday life, man. There's so much stuff going on around us. How easy is it to find a problem? Like, do you have to look very far to find a problem? Actually, it feels like sometimes you got to look a lot further. You got to part the veil. Otherwise, that's what you'll see is probably you got to part that veil of consciousness to intentionally find joy. And when I think about that, and I think about how every morning I have to put myself into the state of joy, into a higher consciousness, and I do that. And one of the things that I read came from A Course in Miracles today. And this says everything. Like Wayne Dyer, we're not humans having seeking a spiritual experience. We're spirits having a human experience. That's a big difference. That is a big reference point to live from. And that is why H, healed, starts with honor God within yourself. So I'm out of A Course in Miracles today. Check this out. The journey to God is merely reawakening of the knowledge of where you are always. Isn't that fascinating? It's just reawakening to where you are. Have you ever, you're driving along and you're not paying attention, and by autopilot, you end up at home. And you're like, and sometimes you think, how the heck did I get here? I don't even remember because you're off in la la land. And isn't that what it's really like? If we really are a spiritual being, then it's like driving on autopilot. We're looking outside at all this stuff, dealing with this, bringing it in our mind, where it's not the pain that's going on in our life, it's the perception of our pain that's going on in their life. And that's the human perception. And so Neil Donald Walsh, Conversations with God, talks about the veil that we're born with, this veil of ignorance. Why are we born with a veil? Well, if we were to come from the spirit world, right, into this physical plane, from the spiritual plane into this physical plane, with all the knowledge of heaven, with all the awareness, with all the Christ consciousness, then we wouldn't have a human experience. So what do we got to do? Oops, we are just temporarily forget where we came from, although that's already inside us. We remember. That's why kids are so angelic, and then they hang around their parents. We give them a bunch of belief systems, and those money doesn't grow on trees, and la 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 la, and all these other things, and go out and get a job, and all these generational patterns that we carry that we don't even realize we're carrying. We're carrying a lot of our parents' energy. Why? Because as kids, we want to connect. We look outside of us for love, right? My parents got a divorce, and ever since then, I haven't felt worthy, or my mom gave more love to my little sister than she did to me. Not that I really felt that, but she was definitely spoiled. Are you kidding me? By the time the third kid comes, oh my God, man, it's like do whatever you want. We're already tired from the first two. I think you know how that is. So what's that mean? The journey to God is merely reawakening to where you already are. We're already in heaven. Okay, it is a journey without distance. You don't have to go anywhere. Heaven isn't someplace you go, it's not up in the sky. You're immersed in it. We are in a spiritual world, we are in a quantum universe, and we are connected to the source that created the universe, right? If God was there in the void and then there was the universe, let there be light, then we are the source that created. We vibrate aligned with the source that created the universe. Now, if you think about that on a quantum level, if we are a creative life force, in the quantum universe, that I've already proved in quantum physics, responds to our thought. Maybe we're like little kids sitting in this universal sandbox, and the universe is just waiting for our command, like a genie in a bottle, to bring us our wishes. Why am I rolling my eyes? I'm learning this. There's principles we know, and then there's principles you apply. Knowledge doesn't get you anywhere, but in an interesting conversation, knowing the vocabulary, what can you apply in your life? That's what healed is. Healed is the application of spiritual principles, of honoring God with yourself, of loving yourself, of forgiving yourself, of living with presence, of listening to your intuition so you can find your purpose and deliver the world. It's like climbing the stairway to heaven. Led Zeppelin knew what they were doing back in the 70s. It's a journey without distance to a goal that has never changed. So if you turn your porch light on and you go out at noon, bright sunny day, and you look at the light and you're saying, am I standing in the light? I don't know. Can you really tell how much light is being given off? Now, if you stand under that light at midnight, then you perceive the light. So we are like the light, and then we go into the dark so we can look back at the light and go, oh, that's who I am. But now we begin in heaven, and then what do we have to do? We have to go through hell so we can just come back to heaven. And some people don't make it back. They don't want to make it back. They don't know how to make it back. Yet every spiritual being is seeking consciousness of their higher self. And I heard this video interview, and it was this guy, I believe, Ed Milet, and he's a powerful speaker, entrepreneur, billionaire, whatever. And he said, one day I'm going to meet my higher self. And what I don't want is when I meet my higher self is that my higher self is a total stranger. I want to be identical twins. And that's what we're called to do, is continually evolve to a Christ consciousness. And that is the healed system. So we look at, man, we are who we always are. We can't be anything else. We can decide or have a perception, but a perception is a mirror. That's all it is. And the universe mirrors back to us. What we see on the outside is what's mirroring back of our perceptions. Now, when we think about that, it's like, wow. So if I look out in the world, I see a lot of great things. I see a very loving world. And I also see challenges. So what's my perception? And that's why it says, seek the kingdom first, and all things will be added. So anyway, what if we were already there? What if heaven is all around us? And Eckhart Tolle in A New Earth, what did he say? Heaven is not a location, but refers to an inner realm of consciousness. So heaven on earth is already here. We are heaven walking in this physical plane. You are a divine, loving, God-like being. And when we can do meditations and become more conscious of that, then we find we don't see or perceive the same problems out in the world. So let's do that together, because everybody that can do that together, we raise the consciousness and shift the consciousness of the whole planet, all humanity, and certainly of the universe. All right. Love you guys. Peace.